Hey, are you in the mood for a bit of luck? Lucky in love, lucky in money, just lucky and abundant in general? I think this is a good week for a little bit of that. Venus in her direct motion is bumping into asteroid Abundantia, the cornucopia of plenty and abundance, while at the same time, both of them are in a perfect sextile to Uranus, the lord of unexpected and positive surprises in love and money. In this case, because why? Because Uranus is a sextile or two houses away from Venus, and this creates lucky, beautiful, positive energy. We also have Mars on Friday moving into the sign of Leo after being in Cancer since the beginning of January. We're not going to talk as much about that today because I'm dropping a video coming out probably on the day before, around the 17th of the month. It's on the 18th that he goes into Leo. It's such a deep story. It connects to past and patterns that go back years ago. And it's better to understand that this is an archetypal shift of energy for 2 months into Leo that will impact your life in a way that's much deeper than I can cover in this weekly video. So please stay tuned for that drop coming up probably on Thursday, the 17th of April, the day in Canada of a debate between the contenders for the next Prime Minister of Canada. And I have looked at the charts of Pierre Poilievre and Evra, and also I've looked at the chart of Mark Carney. And on the day of the debate, by 100 miles, it looks like the winner in the eyes of most listeners might be Pierre Poilievre of the Conservative Party. And because of that, it may actually make a swing in the tide of the election itself. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this week's astrology without the political stuff. Yes, I am going to get myself a new computer. Yes, it is kind of blurry. No, it is not a filter. It's something going on with a very old computer, and I'm buying a new one once Venus goes direct. So hang in with a strange, I can see that it's not exactly clear either, but I don't think it's my lens. And it's certainly not a filter. So it's something we're going to all deal with together. Nothing I can do about it. Wait till my new computer. I'm not buying any luxury item until Venus goes direct on April the 12th. And I'm recording this for you on April the 9th. And I've talked about Venus already going direct in the weekly video that comes out now every Sunday. I've changed my week ahead video drops from Monday mornings till Sunday mornings because of various reasons in my own life. But I think it's just as a good time to get the week ahead is on Sunday as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy that new time frame. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, and I do love those fixed stars and minor asteroids. Sometimes I imagine, is it me that's blurry, or am I seeing myself blurry? It's weird. So the first thing I want to talk about this week is as we head into the week, you're going to already feel this week ahead. Monday the 14th. Is that correct? Oh, honestly, my brain is not thinking about dates because I'm recording it all over the place right now. 17th, 18th. Yeah. Sorry. Whatever day it is. Monday the 14th to Sunday the 20th. That's what we're talking about in planet Earth. I've got to get my space-time coordinates because I'm acting like a space cadet right now. Anyway, we're going to cover the week ahead. When we begin the week ahead, okay, because I'm recording the week before, one of the things you may be feeling, all of us, is a sense of relief or a sense of clarity around love stories, around money stories, so that you can go forward in a way assured and at an easy, rested pace within yourself, because Venus has finally gone direct after being in retrogradation since March the 1st, and she will be retrograding forward on the Saturday, the 12th in my time zone of April. So Monday, we step into this feeling of now we're moving forward. Now things are going forward on my love and money stories, my friendship stories, or that which I desire, but I wasn't sure I should go for it yet. And one of the things about this is a reminder that she's in her shadow until the middle of May, about May 15th, meaning that she's traveling over ground, 24 Pisces to 10 degrees of Aries, that she's already traveled during her retrograde of March the 1st to April the 12th. So you're going to feel a little bit like you're still walking through situations and circumstances and themes that you've been immersed in and maybe pondering since the retrograde began. Now, I've asked a lot of people how this Venus retrograde went for them because it's very similar to the Venus retrograde of 2017 March, 2009 March April, 2001 March April. It's that cycle of star pointing in Aries, retrograding into Pisces. And a lot of people found this to be a really challenging one in my clients and my classes, but I found it to be actually interesting because for me, I found myself in touch with female friends from my past that I haven't heard from in years or even decades coming into my email box or my messenger on Facebook or into like my reaching out to me. And that really surprised me. I didn't expect that. And so in a way, a lot of this Venus retrograde for me as an Aquarius rising, tapping into my Aries third house, has put me in touch with people that I would call friends from my way back childhood, when Lori was in her 20s and she felt like a little girl still, I suppose. So let me know how it went in the comments. How was your Venus retrograde? We're finishing my Venus retrograde class. It was a powerful group of people for 6 weeks. I've so enjoyed that process. Now, being free around money, being free around what you desire, what you want to have, what you want to attract to you, because Venus is the great attractor that unites and brings things together, whereas Mars is the opposite. Mars is the guy who separates. So now you want to bring into your life next week, and you begin to feel the momentum of this as she picks up speed and moves forward through the sign of Aries. Over the next couple of weeks, you're going to want to say, what is it? She'll move into Aries and move through Aries all the way through until the end of April. Early May, she moves into Taurus, I think. Oh no, is it Taurus in June? June, she moves to Taurus. So most of May, she's moving through Aries. But you're going to feel a sense now from the Pisces part of your sky, where she first starts her station direct at 24 Pisces, that you're ready to go for it. Is Pisces your money story, your love story? Is it your children? Is it your 10th house of career? We're not going to cover that here. We covered that in the video that I already put out on Sunday before April 9th, whatever that was. Go back and watch it. Next, the big thing is Venus is going to hook up with Abundantia. Now, Abundantia is what it sounds like: abundance, plenty, fruitfulness, a cornucopia, a little horn of plenty. And she's going to be doing this horn of plenty hookup right here on Thursday, lucky Jupiter's day. Vanderhoof, Canada. I don't know where that is. Just ignore that. But there's some place called Vanderhoof. But obviously it's positive because this is Abundantia for abundance, and this is Venus for what we desire, what we want to have in our lives, where the love and beauty and the friendship and the harmony is. She's very rarefied, ethereal, and transcendent, and looking for a higher love here, a higher principle around what we desire in the sign of Pisces. And this is the asteroid Hercules, the 12 labors. We need to labor for what we want. We need to put the work into it. But nonetheless, we get the abundance. Even Saturn says, over time, we get what we desire. Well, what I want to say is this is so nice to see this amazing partile or exact sextile. Uranus has been going through Taurus direct motion and getting ready to leave here, dip out in the summer. But while he's still here, he's also connected to Algol, a wealth star. But when Algol isn't dispensing wealth, it's dispensing calamitous events, including decapitations. However, it's a sextile. So it's not the darker side of Algol. A sextile is the nature of Venus itself, meaning 60 degrees separate Venus and Abundantia from Uranus. So how can you anticipate this energy? And that happens to be the Harvest Goddess series and also a rescuing mother, but she's a little bit behind the story, right? She's not the most important thing, but she does represent a harvest. I get a vibe here that it could be a nice little flashpoint for everyone, probably available as early as Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of exact on Thursday. And as we move forward, you'll see it begin to come out of the exact energy. All righty, we want Abundantia in the mix. So Abundantia moves on, but Venus is going to continually be at 25 degrees through till Sunday. And so in this way, just keeping the asteroid out of the mix, I'm going to say that Tuesday through to Sunday, expect some unexpected positive surprises around money and love. It may leak all the way into Monday and Tuesday next week as well. But no, she goes to 26 degrees. So we're maximizing it through till Sunday. And all I can say is expect the unexpected. Now, what about Mars over here? He moves out of the sign of Leo and into Cancer, and on the 18th into the sign of Leo on Friday, the 18th in my time zone. Your time zone might be a little bit different, but it could be the 17th of April. It could be the 18th. All I can say is Mars is on a new story. I'll be dropping a video on Thursday, the 17th, to dive into how this isn't just about what happens in the next 2 months as he travels for 2 months, mid-April to mid-June, through the fifth house. It's more profound than that. It connects to longer duration cycles that go back to 77 and 1978. And even if you weren't alive then, it's just to remind you, it's rare. It's something unusual. It's something that you can benefit from. The rarity, the more rare something is and the way it happens, the more important it is in our lives. It's not like every new moon, full moon. No. This is a big deal for you. And so no matter what your age, whether you were alive in 77 or 78, it's still got a huge amount of momentum for this transit of Mars through Leo will take you back to things that were occurring November the 3rd in your life through until January the 6th, when he was direct and then retrograde in Leo. So there's a 2-part story. Can't cover it in the weekly. We're going to talk about the happy surprise, and then we're going to do a separate video all about Mars. So before I do that, if you haven't hit the like button, subscribe, please do. Hit the notification bell. It does help the channel grow. If the channel grows, I'm more excited to put content out and keep on keeping on for you guys. So please give me a sub. I put a video out with a bit of a half-hour precursor about election politics in Canada. It really didn't serve the subscription rate and the algorithm. So I'm really struggling with my love of mundane astrology and the tendency for all of this to trash my channel. I'm going to go get some Windex and try to clean the lens on this laptop in case that's all it is, and I shall be right back. So all I'll say without belaboring the astrology, come to my Patreon community where I do this kind of stuff if you love that, or my Substack where I write about it. Links are in the description box below. Is that based on the astrology charts of the day relative to the natal chart of Mark Carney, who we have an exact time for, and my rectified chart for Pierre Poilievre. But even without rectifying or fixing his birth time, I can see Pierre Poilievre still has a stronger chart just based on his planetary placements for the day of the election. In fact, Carney looks quite debilitated. He's got a kind of hurling rays besiegement from Mars, wedging his sun in a very rock and a hard place with transiting Saturn. It's not a good sky for him during this next week and a half. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about your sign. I'm going to go try to clean my lens. I kind of got it a little bit less blurry with the Windex, but not much. New laptop is coming in. Okay, let's move into the all signs delineation for the week ahead. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to find me on any other platforms like Zoom or Substack or my website or anything about me. It's called the description box. It's under the video. You hit a button called more ... If you want to jump to your timestamps, it's in the description box, and also hit the title of this video. It's called The Chapters, and it allows you to also jump to your own sign. We're going to talk here very quickly, I think, today about the vibration of this luck that seems to be wanting to occur in our heavens for all of us, generally and individually. Often, these sextiles are very subtle. I will say that. You're going to have something good happen, but it may not knock you off your feet, but it still is something good is trying to happen. And that something good that's trying to happen is going to be happening this week, and it's going to start showing up as early probably as Tuesday, and it could unfold all the way through till next week on Monday. It gets a nice little intensity around Thursday, Friday, as Venus and Abundantia join forces. So let's start off with Aries. Aries, you are looking at a sweet touch of luck sometime Tuesday through to next Monday, epicenter, yes, Thursday, Friday, where you might feel plentiful and abundant, like a cornucopia of goodness has hit you in your financial sector. In your financial sector, I apologize. Oh, yes, in your financial sector. Why? Because this is your money that you make, your possessions, your earnings, your self-worth, but your resources. And there's a nice little kaboom, a little surprise, and it connects to 12th house matter. So projects you've been working on behind the scenes, creative activities, things you've been doing in solitude can prosper. Maybe something connected to international markets, borderless income and revenue, far off shores, and money from those places. So that kind of money, like Google ad revenue, because I don't like living in the United States. I'm not Google, because I make money on Google ad revenue. Where are you making money that may not be coming through domestic environments? So there's a boom, a bust through, a nice sweet touch this week of positive surprises. Now, energetically, there also could be in this condition a real breakthrough around addictions or self-undoing. If there's anything that you've been trying to get your handle on, like too much wine, too much weed, whatever, too much women in song, whatever your downfall is, this is your perfect like window of surprisingly easy opportunities with the light to break through something that you are holding your own self back by your own self undoing. And you can have a clearing and a closure on that energy. Certainly anything pleasurable, especially as we move towards Thursday and Friday, where Uranus and Abundantia and Venus are all in a connection together, is extremely positive. And so taking that idea as well and saying, what kinds of pleasures can I proceed to allow for myself as the week progresses, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, really going for alone time, the pleasure of solitude, quiet time, downtime. These are all 12th house words, enjoyment, and somehow that benefits your financial wellness. It benefits how you feel about your worth. It can even benefit your financial matters when it comes to things like that you possess something. I possess a car. I possess a piece of furniture. I mean, who knows, right? What could happen here? But a delightful story may occur around possessions and some up level with the feeling of abundance in the realm of your possessions. We do know that, of course, you're going to have Mars moving into your 5th house, and we will be diving deeply into that in the week ahead video. This week's video is either on a Tuesday drop or a Thursday drop. So it's coming out after this video on Sunday. Stay tuned. And it looks to me like, just as a general reminder, this is where you want to make major action and decisions. That's what Mars does, and momentum in things to do with entrepreneurial and creative endeavors and romantic and sexual areas of your life. And you're going to be focused on that for 2 whole months, but it'll remind you a bit of November and December as well. So it's going to go back to the past for a bit to first figure out what you need to finish, and then it's going to bounce forward. And that's the main story for you. The bouncing forward story is what you need to pay attention to. So if you're trying to make decisions about your children, love and romance, creative projects, and entrepreneurial endeavors, this is where you get your mojo going starting this Friday. And it'll be a 2-month story. So I'll stay tuned for that video. Now I'm going to move the chart forward, but it would be helpful if I unpin it from Aries. So give me a minute. I always forget to do that. We need to make it whole sign. And then we need to fix the sign that we're on. So we're going to go back by hours. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. So the week ahead is glorious. We have a Venus Abundantia connection and Hercules, all those 12 labors in the house, pennies from heaven, windfalls, great gains from your career, favors from friends, allies, and benefactors, things to do with just financial and other rewards from one's career. Also groups of social involvement, friends and allies, but also social networks. So certainly this is positive. It can literally look like a bit of an abundance windfall of some sort. Don't expect everything here, but it's positive. You're going to feel it coming through Tuesday all the way through to Sunday into Monday. But there's a surprising quality. But when, Uranus is involved, there is a surprise, but you're also the one having the breakthrough or the break free or the break down, but this is positive. So breaking free So something positive is giving you a break free and breakthrough energy when it comes to the career and work that you do. And, I didn't mention this for Aries. Sorry, Aries, but we do have a nice little connection between Jupiter in the second house um, and Athena in the 10th house. And I'll cover that for every sign as well. For Aries, I apologize that I forgot to do that. You just have to live with it this time around, but it would have been matters for you, Aries, to do with your 11th house and your third house. And that can connect you to matters connected to travel, communications, and other stuff, luck with friends. But let's go back to the story for Taurus. It could be strategic information or news or developments connected to financial opportunity, and very much like legalese, lawyers, paperwork, signing. These are things I see Athena do all of the time. And Jupiter, again, in a money transactional house. So financial transactions may be occurring as well. They're very positive and blessed this week ahead, that are also very strategic. Now, I love Venus here in this house because she is very much a luck goddess. And this is a very positive and lucky house. And she is exalted and she's no longer besieged. So between malefic stuff. So you're having a superior moment sometime in this week ahead, getting closer perhaps to Thursday, that it looks like when the pin drops, it makes a delightful sound and it looks like money in your hand, favors from friends, Hail Mary passes, especially regarding matters financial and also regarding matters career. You are just feeling like you broke through something that was difficult in a surprising and unexpected way. It could be any area of your life. I can't say for sure what. Venus is the one that delivers some of this goodness, and Venus is also the Lord of the house of work, your sixth house. So there could definitely be some lovely work, career, and money breakthroughs for you in this week ahead. Please keep me posted and let me know what happens. Don't forget, Mars is moving into your fourth house mid-April to mid-June, reminding me of you events that happen in November and December. And so you may be having a repeat of those. Are you going to move your home, change your home, redesign your home, build a home, have someone leave your home? You can move out of the home, change your home. All of this is possible. That's all I'll say about that. I don't know what it will be for you, but we'll be looking into a deeper dive when we get to a drop for a video after this one, because we really want to go into this. It's got more momentum and meaning than something I think I can cover in a week ahead video. All said and done, decisions about the home are being made and actions are being taken. And that will be true for you. You might leave the home, travel from the home, change your home, sell your home. These are themes that you are going through mid-April to mid-June as a Taurus rising, especially secondarily Sun and Moon. Taurus Sun may be making changes in their home connected to their career, for example. And as Mars moves into that fourth house, and he is, the Lord ruler of your seventh house of marriage and seventh house of legal and business contracts, there's some of that reason for the move. But we'll cover that in a lot more detail in a video just dedicated to that topic. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. First of all, you might notice that you have Venus in your 10th house in such a way that she is activating abundance, prosperity, and luck, Abundantia, along with the energy of Hercules. All those hardworking labors are paying off, and there's a harvesting of some abundance but you've been working it. It's Saturnian. It took discipline. It took structure. It took authority. It took mastery for you to get here. And now the North Node, Saturn, Venus, all of that is some kind of financial abundance up here, some abundance of success and achievement in your career. And you see evidence of that in a surprising way, perhaps that you didn't expect coming through the sky this week ahead. And you'll notice maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and then epicenter Thursday, Friday, all the way through till Sunday, Venus, Uranus are in a lucky formation. It is also luck that can come as a breakthrough connected to distant shores and foreign lands, people from that, markets from those far off places and shores, like international borderless income and revenue through the kind of work you do, maybe online or digital income. But it's also maybe something way back there, like a past life, some merit from a past life. Boom, you got a busting through to some new level of success in your career, feeling really, gratitude energy, I would imagine, under the sky. You might have a kind of situation where something from another country or a person from a distant far off shore is going to surprise you with something, an offer, an opportunity that like really just blesses you up in that 10th house of career this week ahead. And with Venus being the lord of, or the ruler of that place where Uranus is sitting, he's trying to please her. He's trying to bring her what she wants that delights her, the happy surprise. And so let me know what it is when it comes, would you? I'm very fascinated to hear some of your surprises this week ahead that feel good in your career and reputation zone. Also with Venus here, she's also connecting to your 5th house of romantic love because she owns it, and your entrepreneurial house. So surprises in romance and entrepreneurial businesses as well coming through positively as we progress through this week ahead. With Mars moving into your 3rd house, which is Leo, starting on the 18th of April through to mid-June, you're kind of going back to things that happened in November and December in order to do a redo or order to reinvestigate it. And it's really going to make some significant changes when it comes to neighbors and neighborhood, relationships with siblings and cousins and uncles and aunts, or things to do with projects to do with writing and social media, changes afoot. You might go back to, of course, the past and remember what you were doing in November, December around 3rd house narratives. But don't worry, we're going to dive so much more deeply into this for you in the video that comes out either 2 days or 4 days after you received a Sunday video. So I don't know. I'll probably drop it on Mars Day. We'll probably drop it a Mars Day video. Finally, the last thing I want to say about this sky as a general vibe is that Athena is very strategic, and she's a lawyer-like mind in the house of legal matters, the 9th house, connected to Jupiter. Lucky opportunities this week for a book publishing deal, a publisher, a success in publishing, a podcast publishing doing well, maybe publish a podcast, things to do with law and legal matters going extremely well, visas and passports, and positive developments in long-term relationships that you would say are the equivalent of a 3rd marriage. You've been with that person long enough. I mean, it feels like your 3rd spouse, right? Whether you're married or not. So those have some positive strategic breakthroughs or strategic, good, positive developments coming through the sky as you look at this week ahead, particularly as you move towards the weekend, Thursday through Sunday. That's also going on in the backdrop of the sky this week ahead. All right, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. Look at that Venus up there in the 9th house, flowing to you in a beautiful water trine. There's nothing but gorgeous luck when you get a trine from Venus in a Lakshmi house, flying her, sending her rays of love at you in watery Cancer. It's got to feel good this week ahead. And it's sort of like feeling like, I don't know, someone's just sending you beams of love and you're feeling, I'll take it, I'll receive it. It's the house of God. The divine feminine is sending you beams of love and you feel good and you feel content and you feel joyful perhaps, or you just feel good. It's a good feel, guys. However, especially for the ascendants, it's also the fact that she's going to say abundance, prosperity, a cornucopia of plenty in your 9th house, with all the hard work you've been putting in there to align yourself perhaps with your truer purpose, to come into contact with your dharma, your unique talents and gifts, and the life you were meant to live, and a feeling of a breakthrough, because there is some kind of excitement here with Uranus, unexpected developments in a money house connected to your career, or in a reputation energy, like getting more getting what you want, what you desire. It's a Kama house. A Kama means your desires are here. So what are the desires that you want to actualize? And there's a surprising ability for some of them to come into fruition this week, Tuesday through to Sunday, in a surprising and delightful way. This could also be a surprise coming from a friend, a sibling, one older, an ally or benefactor, like a surprising opportunity to travel abroad, coming from a friend, a sibling older than you. I also could say that if you were waiting for something to happen when it comes to a legal determination of some kind in a court or legal matter, this should be a positive surprise favoring you coming up this week ahead. Noting the strategic lawyerly Athena in the 8th house of other people's money is flowing to lucky Jupiter in the 12th house. There's almost a kind of like karmic setup here for you to receive a financial benefit from a legal action in your favor, showing up this week ahead, if you're looking for that, even the parking ticket that you're disputing. Okay. So consider that as well. One thing I would also add is that you have Mars getting into hit your. Oh, and if you want to go to university or college or you're applying for schools, that also could be a breakthrough, a surprising development where you get accepted at the favorite, university or college that you were applying for. Something, or you get your professor loves you up and gives you an A, and then asks you to be a tutor, teaching assistant, some good things like that. One thing I want to say is that Mars is going into your second house. We'll be there mid April 18th to mid June. It's going to take you back to November and December when he was also here. You were kind of going to make decisions financially about what you want to possess, what you want to do with your possessions, what you want to do with your money, maybe your food style as well. And there's a lot going on back then, but now you are reorienting to go ahead for the next 2 months and make those decisions. There's so much depth to this. It could also involve your children that I will save this for the video I'm dropping after this. But just know with Mars in your second house, it's a self-starter. You could really get your act together and create your own business or get your own company going. But also you might be able to make some final decisions about food style and about things to do with your money that you've been waiting to get the right angle on, and know which direction to go around prosperity, money, and finances. And as Mars goes through that second house, it's going to be exciting. Can't wait to do a video on that for you, because it's a deep and profound energy not seen since 1977, 78. You got to go. How rare it is how powerful it is. It's not just changing your life a little bit. It's changing your relationship to money a lot, and how you handle money and what you do with money and how you spend money, how you save money. Big changes are afoot here. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a money house, guys. Eighth house, chunky money. I got to write t-shirts and a mug that says, give me my chunky money or something. I'm just so bad at merching. I don't even know where I can find the time I don't even repurpose my content on Instagram. I definitely need to get somebody hired here. I'm going to try out Sue Loves Astrology, I think. It's a long story, but she's lovely, helping me out. It is a sky for you with that eighth house stellium, where you're really focused, Leos, on the money you share with your spouse, the money you make in residual income, passive income, money you can get from insurance payouts, money you can get from an inheritance or an investment in the markets, stock markets. Now, I know the markets are down. I know everyone was screaming, panic attack as Trump, created a whole bunch of problems in the markets. I get that. Okay, let's move that past that story. Venus is in good shape here. She's exalted. She's no longer besieged. She's with cornucopia of abundance, good energy, plenitude, hard work and labors that got you here, steadfast and true. But yes, what about the surprise? Because it's coming to you at 10th house. Are you going to get hired with a sign-on bonus? Are you going to get fired with a severance package you love? Are you going to get some kind of massive commission check through your career activities? It doesn't have to be a boss. Some of you might be self-employed. Things look good on the financial front through things that are going on that surprise you in the career and reputation 10th house. Retired, I don't know what to say. Something going on in your career and reputation in public, how you act in the public eye, surprisingly breaking through to good news in your finances. I could say also, if you're into the occult mysteries, the esoterica, then that's where Venus is sitting with, Abundantia. You could be very plentiful here through something you're doing with tarot, numerology, astrology in the public eye, Uranus, and something really busts forward and you have a big moment of success. Another thing you might want to pay attention to here is the fact that a strategic Athena in the house of agreements, your 7th house, is talking to Jupiter in your 11th. You may make some agreements with aunts, uncle, you make some agreements with an elder sibling, friends, benefactors, and allies that are legalese, that are really sign on the dotted line, and let's figure out the best strategy. And that could be a very positive and fortunate development in this week ahead too. Mars will move into your first house in 18th of April, and he'll be in that place in the sky for 2 whole months. This is unusual. This is reminding you of 1977, 78. And we'll be covering more about that in the video I'm going to put out after this one, just about Mars moving direct into Leo for 2 months. Finally, if you want to take a sword in your hand and you want to do something with it, you have the Martian sword. You can cut and sever and snip or scalpel your home, your friendships, your career path, your significant other. You're ready to cut away from that which no longer serves you. And yes, there is that Pluto opposition, which is, by the way, this is why we're going to save this for its own very deep 2-hour deep dive video. Okay, what else is going on here that you might want to be tuned into in this week ahead? I would love you to also think about this. Given that you have such intensity in that eighth house with a south node in the second, if you have been too much in your hustle around acquiring and possessing and saving your money, kind of like opened up, this guy opens up a kind of more lusciousness around feeling abundant and prosperous. And that's because Jupiter in the house of good spirit is in his joy and he's flowing to Venus. And so there's something about opening up almost a faucet of flooding abundance where you no longer are feeling that kind of need to make sure you can always make your ends meet because you're always like scrimping or hustling or saving. Something wants to shift in this week ahead, especially as you move through Tuesday to Monday. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is a beautiful Venus surprise energy, but also abundance and prosperity in your seventh house. Could it be that your significant spouse type partner is going to have a lucky break financially? It could very well be, especially with Uranus in the ninth house. This is indicating that their lucky break is going to be something you get to participate in, and it may benefit you greatly as well. It could involve monies from court settlements, university and educational matters. It could involve positive developments regarding international travel and destinations, or even in their lives, opportunities in international shores for career gains. Whatever it is, your partner is getting a lot of luck, but it could also be you are getting that same luck because your seventh house is your marketplace, your audience, and your public for your very own career. Like, I don't know, a client gives you a massive check saying you're the best things at sliced bread, or so money you land the big deal, in a client relationship contract or something like that, which allows for some financial prosperity through that interaction with the others that you would call your marketplace or your public or your audience in the career you do. With Jupiter in your 10th house, you're just lucky in your career anyway right now. If you want to get a job, you're lucky. If you want to quit your job, you're lucky. Everything's just lucky, lucky, lucky. And so looking at that seventh house is a nice, delightful little splash of prosperity and abundance and plenitude. With Uranus, it surprises you. You're not expecting it necessarily. It kind of comes out of the blue. Now, wedding proposals can look like a little bit like Venus here. Uranus is a surprise in the house of churches, Jupiter in the 10th house of weddings. So all said and done, some of you may indeed be looking at an up level, a kind of more commitment vibe going on in a significant relationship. That could very well surprise you this week, and that could be coming through Thursday or Friday more accurately, but anytime really, this Tuesday through to next Monday. Strategic Athena is in the workhouse talking to Jupiter. Are you making strategic decisions this week ahead to change your job, to create some different situations, new terms of service, new contracts? Sometimes it can even look with Athena here like there will be an opportunity for you to change your position in the workplace or to get a new terms of service or a new reference point for the work you do. But involving Athena, it's either strategic or very legal, right? You have to sign on some dotted line. She's very much like a lawyer. She also represents authorship. If you're somebody who's a writer as a Virgo, and many Virgos are, then there's a really nice touch here of lucky career breaks connected to the word authorship for some of you as well. Now, rental property belongs to the sixth house where Athena is sitting, and Jupiter does rule your fourth house. And so if you're planning to rent a property out, or if as a landlord, or to lease a property as a tenant, you could have some superior luck in this week ahead where things just sort of fall lickety split into place. With Mars moving into the sign of Leo this week as well on the 18th, this is going to open up major changes in your life connected to the 12th house. This is a house of distant shores and far off lands, and it very well could indicate travel. With it, though, you also might notice that Mars was here before in November and December. And if you did travel then or thought you would and pulled back from travel because you retrograded, this is an example of now it's time to go there. For example, my daughter is a Virgo rising, and when this pullback of Mars happened retrograde here in December, she decided not to go to Ireland to visit her friend. And I told her that was a good idea based on her chart. And so this could be like a re-investigation. Maybe this is now she's going to go off to Ireland or wherever her friend is now. I think she might have moved to Australia, and there may be an opportunity for that to be revisited. So there's an example of what were you thinking about or doing around travel, perhaps, to distant shores. That's one example. And now you can revisit that. And we're going to go into a deep dive into the Mars story. There's so many other layers to this that are much deeper than what I could tell you here. That's just a very light touch point. So if you're at all interested in checking out my next video, please like and subscribe. We're going to do a couple hours with a deep dive into this Mars 2-month story in Leo. It is way more important than you think it is. It's rare because it's doing something like 1977, 78. And if you weren't alive, it's still rare. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Libras. Well, Venus is the lord of your sign, and she happens to be trundling through you in direct motion, your 6th house. This is your work and health matters, your pets, your rental properties, your debts and indebtedness, karmic and real, paying the bills. And you might find here that there's a lot of positive energy as she's now direct, no longer besieged between malefics, and she's in a place of where you've been working hard. Hercules, the 12 labors of. You've been working hard, and the payoff is this week. Look for some financial abundance in work matters, or a plentitude of good health news or something coming through Tuesday through till next Monday. It kind of gets most exact around Thursday, Friday. You might also want to consider that Venus in her, surprising elements of, Uranus surprise. You could get a stock pick taking off. You could get a severance package, sign-on bonus check, a chunk of money through an inheritance, a gift from a friend. There's some kind of financial chunky money that surprises you. Now, it's definitely money. Uranus is a god that brings a surprise, but he's in a money house and he's on a wealth star. So commissions, royalty checks, even ka-ching. So get ready to have some financial surprise. It can connect to livelihood and work, for example. Otherwise, surprises around pets, including a new pet, is a very strong possibility. You didn't expect to get a pet. You weren't thinking of a new pet or any pet at all. And suddenly there's this animal coming your way. Athena, she is in a strategic mindset from the house of entrepreneurship and creative muse and art to Jupiter in the house of publications. So for artists who are publicating, who publish books, or I don't know, I have a Libra friend, Oracle decks. What do you publish into this world? Jupiter says it's lucky. And Venus says, here, let's get some strategic, positive energy going. So like, for example, signing a contract with a publisher, signing a deal with, to travel and teach or something, because, Jupiter here means teaching, traveling, learning, pilgrimaging. But Athena says strategic luck. Like you got to put things in place, legalese, fine print, but it brings good fortune and luck to you. And Athena isn't a house of good fortune. It's called the 5th house, the house of good fortune. And so it looks like it's very positive. You may have some good fortune as well. Your children may have good fortune if you have children, or something good is going on in their lives. Mars is moving through the sign of good old Mars through the sign of your 11th house, Leo, on the 18th, Friday, and it'll be there for 2 whole months. But it's not ordinary. He was there also in November and December. You might be able to remember November, December, and think about the following themes: work gains, career gains, friends, especially friends that you wanted to cut away from, or friends who dumped you, groups of belonging that don't work anymore, cutting that tree, pairing it. You started to go in certain directions there, and then all of a sudden you pulled back, and now you're going back to reassess it. So are you going to finally axe that friendship, or are you going to make a decision regarding the money and the career that you're in, maybe quitting a job, foregoing gains in a certain direction? Like, it's time to shift your story, and changing your long range goals and dreams, because the things you desire are here, and Mars is cutting your desires. He's literally snipping away all the desires that aren't right for you. Master, how do you carve a perfect elephant every time? Says the student to the master carver. And the master carver, who carves elephants from blocks of jade, says, I simply carve away all that is not elephant. You're carving away all that is not aligned with your truest desires in the next 2 months. We'll be diving much deeper in here, because a lot of this has to do with money as well for you. And we'll be talking about that in my deeper dive to our video coming out with the Mars story this week ahead. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and hitting the notification bell. You don't want to miss it. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, what can I say? It's pretty cool. Looks like you're going to have some exceptional luck because Venus is in her lucky place, the house of her joy, in the fifth house down here, with the horn of plenty, the cornucopia of abundantia. What is this abundance coming through your sky Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way through to Sunday? Maybe it's a lucky break, like you win a lottery ticket or a scratch off ticket. Honestly, could be, especially with energies of Uranus giving you the unexpected surprise. With this unexpected energy, too, it could be unexpected new romantic opportunities emerging in your life. This also could open up a surprise coming from your partner, including, honey, I'm pregnant. This could also be a really exciting time for you if you're somebody who's an artist, because, you put out content online, for example, you're writing your paintings, you're singing your songs, whatever, because this part of your sky is your creative projects, including entrepreneurial creativity. And Uranus is the house of the public, and he represents breakthroughs. So you might go viral. You might have a breakthrough on some creative project as it meets the marketplace. And you may feel really exhilarated this week ahead. Let me know if that's true. My son does TikTok. Maybe he'll have a breakthrough on his TikTok, something going a bit viral. I love that for him. He works so hard on his creativity, but I'd be just as happy if he was pregnant or his wife was pregnant. Look, this is hard labors. So where this abundance comes from, maybe something you've been working toward, laboring toward, especially with Saturn there, rather than just a scratch off ticket. But I don't want to discount that. With Jupiter in your eighth house, you could still win chunks of money or get an inheritance. But if you're going to win money for a lottery, that's a good sign. A strategic Athena in the fourth house, lawyerly, legal, paperwork around mortgages, escrow, refinancing, selling and buying property or renting property. All of that is big energy for you and positive energy for you anytime this week ahead, but very active Tuesday through to Monday. Mars is moving through your 10th house, and this is a time, therefore, of desires to make changes in your work and career space. In fact, you may quit a job may quit you, but he's going to be here for 2 months. April 18th, add 2 months. In this regard, you're going back to November and December. Did you almost get fired? Did you almost quit your own job? Or were there changes you wanted to make? Or were you working too hard back then and you had to pull back in the job, career, workspace? And now you're reassessing it, as Mars will give you lots of information in the next 2 months about how to handle this part of your life. However, let me say, there's so much more depth to this, because how you handle this is going to transform who you are in this world for the next 40 years. Please check out the video that's coming out about this Mars transit through Leo. It's coming out for you sometime in this week after this video comes out. So keep your eye on the ball, probably on Tuesday or Thursday. I want to reiterate that if there's inheritance money coming through, strategic Athena, Pluto in the house of legacy, wealth from family of origin, this could be notification that there's some pending inheritance structures. It doesn't even have to be an inheritance. Like you hear from, a lawyer of some family member who's elderly, and they want you to sign documents, like kind of what do you call it? Like, this could be like signing documents, in expectation of money. I'm not sure this is money coming, rather than legalese around money, if there's inheritance money to be had. Hey, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Well, we have a stellium in your fourth house with Venus there. This is where she's in the midnight hour, and she's deep in the homestead with abundance and perseverant labors of Hercules. What have you been doing in the home alone, in the midnight hour, for pleasure, for enjoyment, for contentment? Or have you had friends visiting the home? Venus means friends may have been visiting you since, she's been here like a long time. I'm not going to go back, but you get the vibe. But this abundance, this plenitude, this cornucopia is here with her, Abundantia. And there is a conversation of surprise with Uranus here, Uranus in your sixth house, of debts, of work, of pets. A positive, plentiful surprise around pets. Oh no, your pet's pregnant? A plentiful, positive breakthrough in your work situation connected to your home. A surprising and positive development regarding debts that you hold, mortgages, credit cards, payments you must make. And all of a sudden, some kind of financial plenitude coming from Venus in the fourth house of the home itself. Now, one of the other things that could go on with this energy, because there's always a surprise with Uranus, is you could have a very positive and very lovely surprise around health matters that just feels good. You feel like grateful and overflowing with gratitude and abundance because the blood work comes back great or something like that. Now, with the Athena, the strategic goddess of like lawyerly mind, talking with Jupiter this week, I'm really feeling that into that all through the week, really. You can be very strategic this week ahead and make decisions from almost like a victorious war winning mindset of Athena. When it comes to matters to do with the neighbors and the neighborhood and siblings and cousins and travel in relationship to a long term committed love or business partner. Because I know that Athena can be lawyerly from the charts of multiple lawyer clients and authorly. You could have an opportunity to get a book deal or something published that's very lucky here. Or you could be getting ready to sign or think about preparing to sign through phone calls, emails, and text messages, legal documents regarding marital situations, anything from a prenup to a divorce settlement is possible. You've just gotten through Mars moving through your 8th house for 4 months. If your marriage survived that, because that's chopping the assets and dividing them, then good for you, because that could have been stressful. Also, Mars moving through the 8th house is just money that you share with other people was really on your mind, and you were trying to make some decisions. But when it comes to the marriage thing, I mean, some of you guys who are Sagittarius didn't make it through Jupiter's retrograde, and you knew you had to leave that relationship, long-term love story. Others who made it through are now finding new strength in that relationship. So all I'm saying is there's a lot of strategic conversation going on in a long-term relationship. With Mars moving into your 9th house, there are actions and decisions being made around publishing, book publishing, academics, higher education, travel, far off travel, visas, passports. You're really going through this energy of Mars up here in a way you haven't done in this lifetime. Well, yes, you have in 1977, 78, depends on your age. But it's because he's coming off of, a long retrograde cycle in your 8th house. And he was in this 9th house for a while, right? November and December before he backed out. So think back to November and December. What were you up to that you were thinking, I got to get a handle on? Maybe not yet. I got to go back and check out that shared money. I want to travel the world. I better go back and check my investments in the stock market. I want to get a legal judgment for my marriage to end from the House of Courts. This is November, December. I'm not ready to move forward yet. I need to assess the finances first. Now I'm ready to move forward. I want to go off to university. I got to check and see if I can get a scholarship or student loan. Now I'm ready to go forward. So this next 2 months will help you go forward. Now I'm going to dive deep into this story, even though Mars is going here on on Friday the 19th, 18th. There's so much more depth to this, and also calamity with Pluto across the way, that I am reserving this for its own special deep dive video. So please stay tuned for that. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. First of all, one of the things I want you to know is that Venus in your 3rd house, sextiling you, flowing to you, is looking for truth, love, beauty, friendship, and kindness in the area of the chart that you would associate with the neighbors, the neighborhood, the friends and the friends you've had since childhood, your besties from kindergarten all the way through to the end of high school, things to do with your writing projects and communications projects, online social media world. She's exalted here. She brings abundance with Abundantia. After all your hard labors, that's where Hercules comes in. How have you been seeing this work? Where do you anticipate this week could bring you, Tuesday through to Monday, some really lovely energy of abundance and prosperity and plenitude for all of the labors you've put into the 3rd house, the writing project, the social media sphere, the travel journey somewhere that you've gone to labor to be there, the thing you did to do with your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, or your siblings, particularly the one younger, are now becoming plentifully paying off. But there's a surprise, and it's in the 5th house of romantic love. the fifth house of your children, the fifth house of your creative and entrepreneurial projects. Now, you could be that there's some very lucky thing going on in the life of a significant romantic partner where Uranus is sitting. And it's Venusian and it's abundant. So they may have a bit of luck, or one of your children may have a bit of luck. You just find out some really good news. One of your children may be announcing that they are pregnant. That's another example. And that's the good news vibe coming through Tuesday through Monday. Leisure travel is very much a Venus energy connecting to the fifth house in a sextile. And there's some very positive, unexpected romantic surprises connected to romantic travel coming through the sky this week ahead. Unexpectedly positive developments here. Are you an artist or a creative, especially a writer? Breakthrough energy for you in those projects this week ahead. Strategic Athena in the second house of money, earnings, and possessions talks to Jupiter in the house of work. It looks like you could be making some strategic decisions regarding your finances connected to employment, connected to debts and debts you hold, restructuring your debts, maybe any debts you owe to others as well, like people, not just institutions, and some kind of strategic restructuring, especially with Mars moving into your eighth house, indicating a focus on shared resources with others. And I can see this looking like a lot of legalese and strategic thinking around shared resources as well as your own resources. I mean, Jupiter can help you eliminate debts, reduce your debt load in some fundamental way. Mars is moving through the eighth house. The eighth house is chunky money that you share with a spouse, inheritances, tax rebates, royalty income, residual income, ad income from, videos and stuff, like passive income. It's not the money you're making directly, like dollars for hours. It's also often shared with another person, right? If you make AdSense revenue, AdSense, Google AdSense, you share the revenue with Google. You share the publishing royalty income with the publisher. It's not all your money. And so this is the kind of money that you're focused on as Mars moves through your eighth house, including stock investments. And you may be selling, you may be clearing the table, you may be making massive changes in that kind of money in your life. Certainly, I can see that for some of you, this could be about dividing assets in a relationship, like spousal separation, that kind of thing, as Mars moves through the eighth house and eventually opposes Athena. But we're going to talk about the 2 months that Mars is in your eighth house, like he was in November, December, and is back again, and how this may replace stories from November, December that are ready all the way through April 18th to mid-June to finally go in the direction that is the most importantly correct way for you financially. Now, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I have a story here. I've got lots of them because I'm a rising sign, Aquarius, and I'm a sun in Aries. Aquarius rising. First of all, Venus is a money goddess in an earnings and money and resources house. Second, with the asteroid for plenty and abundance connected to the hard work of Hercules and his 12 labors, of course, Ceres taking the harvest season in stride. Saturn, hard work, North Node, destined and expanding. Now, all of that energy in your second house is bringing you unexpected surprises that are positive financially, because Uranus is the guy that's a breakthrough, break free, but he's also surprise, unexpected surprises financially connected to home, property, and real estate. Jupiter is in the house of lottery wins. I have a ticket for a lottery that connects to homes. It's a children's hospital home lottery. That would be exactly this kind of sky. If I won a big prize in that, I will be like, first thing you're going to see is my big video about it, because that's a classic yes on this kind of chart. But whatever this is, any kind of financial bounty could be coming your way in a surprising and unexpected way. The fourth house is legacy wealth, family of origin, mom and dad. Maybe mom or dad, if they're alive, can cut you a check and surprise you. It's your birthday, or just feel like when they want to help you out, and all of a sudden you got money from those family members. You might find an unexpected positive surprise about a change in your home that's also going to give you a gratitude attitude for an abundance and plenty of opportunity. That's a beautiful energy for breaking through to a new home. And you're just grateful because the abundance in the cornucopia is how positive this whole thing seems to be. With Jupiter talking to strategic Athena, you are the strategic one, three-dimensional chess playing. You're looking for victory. You're looking for the win. You got the eye of an Athenian. You're looking at it from, she's like a AI, I swear. She's a Mensa, and she's eyeballing Jupiter, and Jupiter's eyeballing her this week. It gets really more activated as we move towards, let me go back and see when that happens. There we go. So it's Sunday into Monday. It's more tightly activated, but it's building up all week long. And so what's even activated here, like on Thursday, because they're tracking each other. So how can you be strategically inclined this week ahead to win and to think, in three dimensions about your plans? Because Jupiter wants to bring you financial luck. Look at that little wedge happening with the moon on Thursday. It's very fleeting, but Thursday looks delightfully lucky for you. So let me know how things go on this delightfully lucky Thursday. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. Mars is going to move, obviously. It's lucky. It's a lucky week, guys, for you. Jupiter in a luck house, Venus in a money house, Uranus with surprises in Venus's house. Yeah, money, luck, surprises. And pregnancy. Well, if you could get pregnant, maybe you could get pregnant and be surprised, but maybe unexpected fertility or pregnancy regarding one of your children. When I look at Mars moving into the 7th house, I get this vibe of, should I stay or should I go? You're going to be looking at Mars with a relationship, whether it's a business partnership, the way you approach your clients, or a significant love relationship. And the axe is cutting through the house of relationship. And yes, it did cut through here, Mars in November, December, but this is happening again. And it's going to be more important this time because now the right answers are here. And I want you to know that this is rare. It goes back to 77, 78. And you can't replicate this again. Like, you have to go back and say, this was as rare as like back then. So I'm going to say that we're going to do a deeper dive video into this because in your sign, it's also going to impact career choices as well. And so there is major energy changing career and changing relationship to clients and also significant spousal relationship. And with Mars in the 7th house, the scissors and sword are also in the hand of another person. So you may not even have the agency or choice about this. It may be on there, and what's going to happen will happen. So let's dive into that video on this Thursday. I'll probably put it out Tuesday or Thursday in the week ahead so that you can grab a hold of this and use this energy consciously. Probably put it out on Tuesday. Oops. Hey, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. Now you can see here, this is an energy that has Venus moving through the 1st house, making you feel more in touch with self-love, more in touch with divine surrender, more connected to your receptive yin, more willing to dress the part, to find the outfit and the clothes and the hair and the makeup, or however you wish to adorn yourself in this exaltation of her. And she's been here for a while because of retrograde, but now she's outside the malefic enclosure of Saturn North Node. Oh, she'll be back on the 24th, but it may not be all that malefic anyway. You've been working hard. You are the laboring Hercules with Venus, but you got abundance, prosperity, and plenty coming from your hard labors, from your work, from your struggles. And you are receiving the abundance directly. You don't have to go looking for it. You become literally the Empress in the Tarot. You are just one big luscious queen. So something good is trying to happen this week ahead. And as this abundant energy is filling you up, you'll notice that there's a surprise with Uranus in the 3rd house. Now, a surprise from a sibling can help you be more prosperous or abundant. A surprise from an aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, or nephew. A surprise from somebody in the neighborhood. A surprise connected to your online and social media world, or travel opportunities are emerging in this week ahead. You might notice some of the most intense part of this delightful, unexpected stuff of abundant you is coming through Thursday and Friday, but it begins Tuesday and does not complete until Monday. Well, at the same time, you're all, and you may have a breakthrough on a writing project as well, or a social media project or communications project that makes you feel grateful and abundant. But you'll notice that as well, strategic Athena looks like a diamond in the sky up here in your 12th house is flowing to Jupiter. Unexpected, not unexpected, prosperous, abundant, lucky things are growing to happen. Opportunities are happening. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Connected to, hang on. Gesundheit. So to say to people just before the plague killed you in the Middle Ages. What is happening from a far off distant shore that can impact your home life in prosperous and bountiful ways? It may connect to property, land, and real estate, or just a feeling of luck and bounty in the home, connected to people and places and things in far off shores, connected to strategy. It's happening all this week into next week. Let me know what happens. Athena can look like lawyerly as well. Maybe you get an offer on a property that you want to sell from someone who lives in a foreign land, that kind of thing. Or legal matters to do with finances and foreign lands, right? Do you want to clear credit card debt in another country? I have somebody I know who wants to go declare a bankruptcy. That would be exactly how this could work. Seeing a lawyer to see whether it's feasible to do a bankruptcy to eliminate an unpayable debt. Who knows? It could be any of these things. Now, you could also note that Mars is no longer going to be traveling through your 5th house and is going to move into your 6th. And now that's where you begin for the next 2 months, April 18th, to begin to look at work with a different angle. Like go back to November and December when it came to job, work, and career matters, because you might have been, and money matters. You might have been like thinking about something November, December, kind of on the fence, had to rethink it, take that job, quit that job, apply for that job, whatever. And now you're going to go back, and now 2 months ahead, your all systems go. Mars is in his joy. You kind of know what you want here. Same thing applies to, should I get a pet, not a pet? Should I pay off that debt, not pay off that debt? Should I declare bankruptcy, not declare? The decisions you need to make are clear as Mars moves into Leo, and you get your mojo going, and he will interact with that Athena lawyer lady as well in those 2 months. So it's really not a bad idea for financial debt matters and legal matters to be attended to, as well as job decisions and pet decisions coming through your sky. Want to change your health, do it strategically. How? This looks like dietary change. When Mars moves into Leo, he's going to flow to Neptune in the 2nd house. Time to take your foggy glasses off and get stern and strict, especially when Saturn, the lean one, enters, and really work on food style. And a lot of you will discover that your food style and your diet are going to change anyway, because of that Mars transit through the 6th house, because of Neptune in your 2nd house, because in the 3rd week of May, Saturn joining Neptune. So I could tell you that 8 out of 10 Pisces rising in particular will likely change their dietary habits and exercise routines as we see this Mars transit mid-April to mid-June. There's so much more here for you. It's much deeper than what I can talk about here now. So if you like to like and subscribe or hit the notification bell, just remember to come back here probably on Tuesday. This video is dropping there, watching on Sunday. 2 days later will come out the Mars deep dive video on how to use this Mars transit that hasn't happened since 77, 78 in this way. 1977, 1978. Whoa! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It helps the channel grow. When the channel's growing, I'm thriving too, because we're all in this together. I would love to see you in my Substack and Patreon community. Check my description box below to find out how to join there. And I think I got a little bit of the smudge off the lens, but I think I got terminal damage to the lens of my camera on my computer, and I will be getting a new computer. So bear with me while I just wait for Venus direct, because I know I'm smudgy lately, but I'd rather wait till I get a luxury item, expensive computer that's going to last, and I need Venus direct for that. Ciao, guys. Take care. See you in the next video.